Hey guys, we are group 21. Now today our group topic is Sandline versus Papua New Guinea, and we have four members. You and
Ravneet.
Jaspal.
and myself is Neamul, and we'll start with introduction. And the introduction part will cover Ravnath.
Yeah, common laws are developed by the judgment of judges throughout the history. English common laws are developed in England with the influence from the laws of past. Many countries use English common laws as the basis for their justice systems. The independent state of PNG also uses English laws. International laws developed when international nations traded with each other. And the background is Bonneville is an island of PNG, and in this island, Pangona copper mine is operated. At the time of operation of copper mine, it has around 4,000 workers and it generates 17% of total revenue. There was a dispute between landowners and government of PNG regarding the land that was acquired for the establishment of the mine. Following year, situation is escalated. There was an attack on the power supply on copper mine and it was forced to shut down by landowners. The agreement and scenario. Government of PNG and the Sandline International entered into the contract during 1997. It was a written agreement. This agreement has the quality of offer and acceptance, and terms and conditions were mentioned properly. According to the agreement between the Prime Minister of PNG and Sandline, Sandline would deliver the private army, military equipment, and proper training and assistance to the armed forces of PNG to fight against Bougainville Revolutionary Army. Next topic will be covered by Neamul.
Hi. So now I'm discussing the legal issues in the case. So I find myself there are like three legal issues in this case, and the first key legal issues is the agreement between Sandline International is according to the Constitution. Government has no authority to make the military contract with Sandline International. So therefore, contract between Sandline and PNG is void. But government of PNG can do this type of contract according to the section 203 PNG Constitution. But if and only if the government has approval from the parliament. As a matter of fact, there were no parliamentary approval, legal or illegal according to the PNG law. And the second issue I find that what are the rules of the international law in this case? If international law is applicable to the case of PNG versus Sandline, then the contract will be legal contract without the approval of parliament, because constitution of PNG has no authority in a global affair. And the last issue I find, what are the rules of English law in this case? So according to the English common law, contract must have to be legal at the time it is signed according to the law of the land, in other words, constitution of the country. Now I'm going to discuss about the arguments support the view of PNG. So it is true that according to the principle of Southern Pacific Proprietist versus Arab Republic, Sandline International is not liable for the wrong act of PNG officials, but legally of the contract even under international law is questionable. Use of private army of the mercenary service are illegal under UN 89 Convention against the recruitment, use, financing and training of the mercenaries. And there is another case I would like to discuss, that according to the Dang 2001, the literature of the international law is evident and with materials condemning the use of mercenary service as illegal. So it is widely believed that use of private army to kill or fight against own citizen is immoral, and United Nations condemns such action many times, and therefore it is safe to conclude that the contract between PNG and Sandline International is not enforceable, or the PNG is not liable to pay even under international law. So the next part will discuss by our fellow group member.
Hi, I'm here to talk about the tribunal decision. Tribunal rejected the claim of PNG, and they hold that PNG is liable to pay Sandline International as according to the contract. Tribunal judgment is two-folded. They refused to make comments on section 200 of PNG Constitution. They said it is not possible to make conclusion on the Constitution of PNG. Secondly, they hold that it is inconceivable that PNG is an independent state and purport to contract in the capacity. An agreement between a private party and a state is an international, not a domestic contract. This tribunal is an international, not a domestic. Ordinal tribunal is bound to apply the rules of international law, though those rules are not excluded from, but from part of English law, which is the law chosen by the parties to govern their contract. The next part will be said by my fellow members.
Overall development in international law. Sandline international law versus PNG changed the overall direction of international law. This case developed the fundamental principle for the application of international law. Thus, contract between an independent state and a foreign company will be regarded international contract, and therefore it will be subjected to international law. Local constitution will not have authority in global affairs. If only international law is used to govern international contract, and if common law is bypassed, then there would be a paradoxical situation. There are many common laws that developed by the human throughout the history that are still morally right and applicable. If those common laws cannot govern the international contract, any immoral or unjust contract can take place. Therefore, international law need further definition.